Ramp it up, ramp it up. We're gonna ramp it up. Come on. Yeah. 'Cause we're gonna ramp it up. Say ramp it up. Ramp it up. Ramp it up. Quit talking like you got it. Put your money where your mouth is. Ramp it up. Ramp it up. We're gonna ramp it up. Let's see what you can do. Can you make the cut? I live on the block, and I can make your heart stop.
Bane, one of my top 3 Batman villains. The other two being the Joker and the Scarecrow. After watching the newest Batman film, literally the other week, I felt as if I should post up my opinions on something involving the film, and personally I would like to cover Bane, the new reimagining of one badass supervillain. So before we get into the movie adaptation of Bane, let's look at what the comic books did with this character. Upon Bane's original release into the Batman universe, there haven't been that many villains that were physically overpowering. The Joker used comedic twists and henchmen to get his dirty work done, and felt like creating havoc in Gotham was only fun if the Batman came to save the day. The Scarecrow is more of a psychological opponent. He uses fear-inducing gas to place you into the worst nightmare. Which I find badass, by the way. Just think of an entire city running around thinking, "Oh my god, it's creepy, and that's why the Scarecrow is my personal favourite Batman villain, but that's a conversation for another day. As for Bane, he is the true depiction of power. Jacked up on the substance known as venom causes this ordinary man to be turned into a living, breathing powerhouse. Think of a Juggernaut from the X-Men, only with a Rey Mysterio mask. It's pretty awesome. The defining moment of Bane in the comics was when he was one of the first Batman villains to literally kill Batman. His size, strength, and downright brutality almost caused our beloved Dark Knight to kick the bucket, and that was awesome. I mean, come on, he breaks the Batman's back in one of the most monumental panels known to comic book kind. It's awesome! And I would suggest anyone to read that comic book arc. It's absolutely fantastic. Okay, so enough talk about the comics. Let's get into the film itself. Bane was played by Tom Hardy, and what a fantastic job he really did. He made Bane sound completely malicious, and only caring about the job at hand no matter how many people die in his way. His outfit was done really well in the new recreation of the great supervillain. His very poise was intimidating, regardless of what camera angle or position he was in. The mask on his face was well done, showing that he needs it for both life support and for intimidation. And finally his attire showed how brutal he was, simply wearing a trench coat at times with a bulletproof vest and baggy army man trousers. Whoever was on the team for costume design for this movie really needs some recognition, and this is really a good look for a realistic environment version of Bane. So how was Tom Hardy's performance as Bane? Well, in my opinion, it was good. There were a few things I personally didn't like about the new Bane, however, which it's not Tom Hardy's fault, but it's just little gripes that I personally hold. First was his voice. Now, when I saw Bane in Batman and Robin, yes, I know it was a rubbish film, but it's nostalgic, so I had to bring it up. His performance was spot on. Yes, he was heavily misused, but that's the kind of Bane that I'm used to. A Bane that speaks with his actions and not his words. Hearing Bane speak was something I was anticipating, but I wasn't anticipating his voice to be British? I would think in this visioning of Bane, there would be an American or Latin American style of voice, to fit the whole Mexican masked wrestler sort of esque that was made in the comics. But still intimidating. Like, I wasn't expecting the whole Mexican masked wrestler thing because, well, we had to put him into a realistic environment, but at least something around that area, giving him a Spanish or Latin American-esque style of voice. You can still make those voices evil, but when I heard Bane speak within the first portion of the film, I literally wanted to laugh. No, seriously, I was about to laugh in a packed cinema at one of my favourite Batman villains of all time. But then as the film went on, I began to like the voice of Bane. It was intelligent, it was flamboyant, and most of all, it was menacing. I've always loved villains with British accents, since they seem to work naturally well. And Bane is a great example of this. His voice truly shows that not just is he a living, breathing hulk of a man, but also who's done their research and is smart enough to come up with foolproof plans for all situations. Second thing I had against Bane was how smart he actually was. Like, I know I keep referring to the comics on this one, but it's just what I've grown up with understanding about this supervillain. I liked Bane originally because he was smart enough to make plans and execute them, but when it comes to fighting situation, he does just that. Fight! There were moments in the film where I thought we could have seen much more of Bane's power and dominance in fighting situations. Don't get me wrong, the epic fight scenes between Bane and Batman were some of the most epic scenes in the film and pretty much made the film for me. Heck, it was pretty damn epic just to see Bane walk away with half the mask of Batman ripped off of Bruce Wayne's face. It was absolutely amazing. But I would have liked to seen him beat the crap out of like 10 of the toughest GCPD cops. But what we got was a couple of fight scenes and a lot of scenes of Bane just simply killing people off with no effort whatsoever. Now, I don't mind that we didn't have a lot of fight scenes involving Bane, but I would have liked to have seen seemingly overpowered matchups against him go horribly wrong. Like, for example, you know how in the first two Batman movies, Scarecrow actually made a cameo in those films? I know it was completely underused in those films, but at the end of the second film, it still made it seem as if Scarecrow was still alive. Heck, Scarecrow's been through much worse. I mean, come on, look at the comics. But heck, don't you think it would have been awesome if Bane and Batman were in the middle of doing something absolutely epic, and then Scarecrow comes out of nowhere wanting to make Bane his bitch, but then Bane just turns around and just goes, "Fuck you," and literally breaks Scarecrow's back? That could have been a great ode to the comic. Instead of breaking Batman's back, even though he pretty much did just break Batman completely in the movie, he would have just broke Scarecrow's back in the movie in the style of the comics. It would have been great nostalgia, and hell, it would have worked so well. You would have killed off one of the most monumental villains in Batman history just by snapping him in two and pretty much handing him over to the big bad Bane. Now just imagine that as a deleted scene in the DVD. I would watch that over and over again. But sadly, I doubt that would actually happen. It's a shame that that never actually happened, but yet again, it doesn't mean that the film's lacking. Apart from those two small gripes that I have nothing else but admiration for the character. He is brilliant from his presence, to his criminal mind, and to his dominance over our favourite Dark Assailant. I guess the only other thing I really have to complain was, yes, this is actually going to be a spoiler, so if you are currently listening to this and you don't want to spoil the film for you, I suggest skipping this part completely or just ending the video here, because quite frankly, this is the bit that's going to spoil a little bit of the ending for you. The bit that frustrated me was right at the very end, when Bane literally was defeated by Batman. Batman looks into Bane's eyes, tells him that he knows that Bane was the one to escape from the pit, and then what happens? Natalia comes around and says, "No, I was the one that escaped from the pit, and Bane is my bitch this entire time." Wow! Talk about twisting the story at the last minute. I mean, come on. Natalia should have had a lot more screen time showing her evil intentions. I love Natalia as a character in the comics, having a little bit of a love for Bruce Wayne and wanting Bruce Wayne to take a hold of the Legion of Shadows, but no. No screen time whatsoever, and we only just see her turn evil at the very last minute. I mean, really? Really, moviegoers? Are we really going to take that shit? I mean, seriously. If Bane was the main supervillain of all this, surely Bane should have actually done all this by himself, and just should have done it as a revenge clause against Ra's al Ghul. Not because some freaking brunette bimbo with nice boobs, yes, even though she is actually quite hot, and I do really respect her acting skills, they are fantastic, just tells him to do all this for her just because she admires the fact that he saved her ass all those years ago. God damn, that pissed me off. But yet again, there is a tiny gripe, and as with the other gripes, overall, Bane's performance was absolutely amazing. I would give Tom Hardy praise any day, and heck, if he doesn't get an Oscar for this, then someone really needs a punch across the friggin' face. But yes, there you go. He is brilliant from his appearance to his criminal mind and his dominance over our favourite Dark Assailant. Over all three of the new Batman films, I would have to say that Bane is my favourite villain in the series. Joker was amazing, and Heath Ledger will live the test of time knowing that his last performance was actually, in my opinion, the best performance of his life. But sadly, I just thought the second film wasn't the best film. I liked the last one. But yet again, there is opinion based like this entire review, so what you're gonna do in the end of the day. And plus, I'll go on and talk about Joker another day. I'll have to bring it up sometime. But overall, I have to give Tom Hardy and Bane an epic 8 out of 10 for one fantastic performance in one fantastic film. So that's my opinion on Bane from Batman The Dark Knight Rises. But what are your thoughts on Bane? Do you think he could have been played better, or do you think his play style for this realistic envisioning was absolutely spot on? Let me know by placing your comments in the comment section below, or even posting a response to this video right here on YouTube. I'll be glad to see what you guys have to say about my personal supervillain, Bane. But until next time guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be sure to post up more views on characters and more narratives from either films or video games at a later time. Plus, if you're wondering how I've been able to read this so calm and coolly, it's because I'm actually reading this off of my actual blog. Yes, I have a blog. My blog is known as thatguywiththetrilby.blogspot.co.uk. Yes, I use Blogspot, get over it. But it's a great place, and this is the first major blog that I actually did. Now, in this video version, I have gone a little bit deeper than I have with the actual blog review that I wrote. But if you do want to read the actual blog, and heck, even follow me on my blog as well, then I'll leave a link in the comment section below for you to check it out. Or if you can't find the link in the description below, just simply go to thatguywiththetrilby.blogspot.co.uk. You'll be able to find it, you'll be able to read it, you'll be able to follow me, you'll be able to have some fun. Because in the future, I'll be doing some blogs about video game narratives as well as characters from both video games and movies. Heck, I'm even thinking of doing an entire spread about potential Marvel and DC movies we would all love to see in the near future. So if you do want to check that out, and possibly much more, please follow me on Blogspot. And of course follow me on YouTube, because some of the best blogs that I post out, I'll be sure to make into videos for you guys to watch. So until next time, I'm Dumbest100 aka the Xploder. Goodbye fellow gamers, goodbye, and I'll be seeing you guys on the battlefield.